What is going on, everybody? I am Retro Bliss, and you're on the Retro Bliss Rewind podcast, and you're thinking, it is not Tuesday. Why are we having a podcast on Wednesday? Well, our good friend KioDieken, who is no stranger to the Retro Bliss Rewind podcast, went to the Consumer Electronics Show over this past weekend, and he wanted to share what was retro and maybe some other things. So without further delay, let's just bring in our panelists. First, let's bring in Mike for Mike's Gaming Gala.
Hello, everybody.
The man, the myth, the legend, KioDieken. What's up, Kio?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thanks for having me.
So, I can imagine when you got there, it might have been somewhat overwhelming because we wanted to get some information about retro gaming, but there were probably so many other things that, with AI going on and, advancements and stuff like that in technology, there's probably some really cool stuff there. So what was your take when you first walked into the convention?
It was, well, first I knew I had to stretch, have on good walking shoes because there's a lot of walking. If you guys have never really been to Vegas between all the conventions, CES is spread out among several different blocks, not just the convention, but Westgate. Now they also have stuff going on at Fontainebleau, and additionally the Venetian, which is several miles away. And then, of course, now they had the Aria, Cosmopolitan, MGM Park. So it's spread out among more hotels, whereas before it was like maybe 3 locations, maybe 4.
Wow. I've been to Vegas, and so I know it is a lot of walking, going from one place to the other like that. I don't know really how to get started. All I know is that Kio, he took some video and some pictures of some things. And what was your take as far as new retro stuff? Did you think that there was a good selection this year, or was it, what was your take on that?
So this year, I would probably say it was a little short-sighted. There weren't a lot of retro companies, home arcade things that they've had previously. Before, you probably had several different companies all within the same wing. This year, you could really almost count them on one hand. You had, My Arcade. Then you had Stern, for pinball. Then you had 8-Bit Dough, which was not too far away from Stern. It was right next to the My Arcade. And then in one of the, I think it was at the Venetian, you had Mad Cats. They had their thing going on, and they were really far away.
Mad Cats still around?
Yes, they are. I have video footage with them. I had a nice little meeting with them.
Nice.
So, yeah, they were really kind of spread out all over the place. You really had to hunt and find anything in regards to gaming or retro gaming.
Yeah, that's kind of a shame too, because when COVID hit, I think there was a big boom with retro gaming, and over the last year or so, I really think, from what I've heard and seen, it's kind of dying down a little bit.
I don't know if I would say dying down. I think what happened was there was an oversaturation of retro gaming. I think everybody wanted to kind of get in on it, make some money, saw it as a easy money opportunity. And I think it just kind of streamlined as to where we are. I don't think retro gaming should have been, well, it was never really meant to be a widely publicized thing, but now you see, I can tell you this, there's a Facebook group called MAME Arcade Cabinet Builders. They used to boot people for reselling anything. If you saw any ad on Facebook back in 2018, 2017, 2016, selling a home arcade, people would flag it and it would get erased from Facebook. But then after that, you started to kind of see more of appreciation and tolerance for reselling in the home arcade retro gaming scene.
Yeah, I mean, not more than toleration. I mean, arcade one-ups were popping up everywhere. iArcades, emulation, softwares like Emulation Station, and
yeah, it was one of those things where everybody was jumping onto the bandwagon. Unless you were really committed, you got off that bandwagon pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you pretty much got off of it, but it was probably 5 or only 6 companies that were really arcade or retro gaming related there at the entire CES convention.
Here,
Wow.
I'm going to make. Oh, sorry.
Now this has been
Let's-
released already, correct? That's the Game Station Go.
Yeah, there's just a little footage. When I was there at the convention, I met with some of the reps. They were just kind of pointing out a few things. Oh, the question I believe I was asking them in this clip was I was asking them what is the most powerful Atari game that
This
they
is
could
what
run.
I wanted to do. Here we go.
And so, we all know Atari 5200, 2600, 7200, whatnot. You have all those systems. And I asked them, what is the most powerful Atari game you can really run on this? But they did have some of the re-releases. Remember the Centipede, Millipede that was on Xbox 360? So that's on there. I think they call it like a revamp, retro, something. It starts with the R. But that is included on there, and that's what I was kind of getting to. So those games right there are the newly modified Atari games that you can play on that unit.
They look cool. They look cool. But for the price point, if I remember correctly, those were going at about $1.99.
Yeah.
It's like for a handheld Atari thing, even though it had a trackball, I some of the reviews I saw, there were people that were kind of complaining because the trackball was so little, it was hard to correctly maneuver. Like you say, you were playing Centipede,
Right.
to move your sprite to try to get it exactly where you wanted to in certain situations. It was just because it was just so small.
Whenever you shrink things like that, you hurt their playability. And Mike R here says that the Go can barely run the recharge games. They had to lower the resolution and performance to get it to barely play. And the screen isn't even 720p. But I will say, like, for the retro stuff, when I played with it a bit at PRGE, I didn't order one. It's really not, I'm not the target market for it. But for what I played, which was like entirely retro, it was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine having a screen that size too. Having the controls on the side. Any of us who have a Nintendo Switch know
the screen size was decent.
Yeah, it's pretty. It looks pretty decent. I can kind of tell just from the pictures that it looks pretty good. I just, it's like scratch my head. I don't know, $1.99. I'd love to have one, but I've already played. The problem with Atari is, they licensed their name out to My Arcade, I'm assuming, and then My Arcade
they license their name out to anybody that will give them a little bit of money. That is true about Atari.
And how many ways do we already play our Atari? I have the recharge games on my Xbox One. I have them on Steam. I emulate through Gala. I emulate through the other emulators, A7800 and Altera. I have the 7800 and 2600 plus units. I it's like because if
we already have a million ways to play it,
there just are. And so a lot of people, they are like me. They're looking at it and they go, that looks neat. That looks cool. I'd like to have one. But then they kind of take a step back like I'm doing, and just like, but do I really need or want that bad to lay down the two Benjamins on it?
Right. No, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, and that conversation is had widely throughout the retro gaming scene. Like even when you have Super Mario Brothers or Nintendo, or like especially like Street Fighter and Pac-Man are probably two of the most ran through games that are commercially used by companies. You always see Street Fighter, you always see Pac-Man. It is one of the most used ROMs that is always available to customers that companies always resell.
Yeah, because retro folks, they see Pac-Man and they're like, oh, I have to get that.
Well, and another thing too is Namco, they can license to more than just tech people. They can. There's plushes and toys and all kinds of things that they make money on just the Pac-Man name because of that, and the character and the IP. They're just selling the idea of Pac-Man, and so I don't know if they're throwing everything at the wall to see what'll stick, but anything to make money, I guess. I don't know, but the thing of it is, I love Pac-Man. I love Street Fighter. I love these games. I do. I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it. As a matter of fact, I would love, the more that this stuff's out, the more that maybe the younger generation might pick up on it and play some. But I don't know. But see, you were there. You were our boots on the ground, and you saw what was there. What were your first impressions for these things? Because it looks like right there, there's a barcade right there. That looks really cool. That's a My Arcade Atari barcade, right?
Yeah, I mean, I actually like it. I mean, I like the form factor. Remember, Atari used to have a license with Micro Center, which is how we ended up with the fight sticks.
That's how we met.
Right, exactly. That's how we met.
Yeah.
And so I honestly like it. It's different. I haven't seen a unit like this anywhere else on the market. I mean, keep in mind, I'm a little fresh to Atari. I mean, I'm familiar with Atari ROMs and stuff. I'm not Atari'd out where I'm constantly playing a lot of these retro games.
Yeah.
So I have the ability to kind of look at it or appreciate it from a fresh set of eyes versus, oh, another one again, So I kind of look at it from that aspect. But I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I think their prices are reasonable. I just think it's different. You don't see, to me, with those knobs and within that price format. One thing that was different was that this one has buttons on it, and I think we talked a little bit about it. It has like a new numeric keypad on there, and so I didn't remember any of the Atari units having that, but apparently they did. What was it, the 5200 that had that, the Atari?
They had they had a number pad. Yes, they did. They had it was a bad one, but yeah. It was
My problem with things like this is that the controls there, for me, I have big hands. I'm sure, most adult men have big hands, and adult men are your market here. Like
Right.
all those controls in tight, just like it's not comfortable to play for any amount of time. Zenbloke here says, surely at some point they have to release these devices with some different games for the differentiation to stand out in a crowded market. I agree. Like every time you get a flashback, it's like there are 3 games different on it, or the Game Station Go versus the Game Station Pro, and it's the same stuff over and over and over and over again. And I get it. Atari can only license what they have, but good God.
Well, there's actually a one reason I can. I'm not 100% certain about it, but there is one particular reason why companies have to do this, and that has to come down to their trademark. You can't protect your trademark or intellectual property if it's not in market, if it's not recirculated.
Yeah. That's why like Disney kept releasing is like, okay, here's another little Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Right.
Yep, we just re-releases of the same things, like Fantasia was on VHS, and then it comes out on DVD, and then it comes out on Blu-ray. It just that they just keep. Yeah, I know what you're saying. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah. So they have to kind of do that to kind of, because you have to claim damages. So if somebody is pirating your stuff, you have to be able to say, well, what are your damages? Well, you don't have your stuff out in circulation, so how do you calculate the value of your product? So they have to do that. Like, for example, we know a lot of the older arcade units, the games, they were only manufactured for that arcade system. The ROMs were never re-released. So what would their loss be if someone was just freely passing it out there? You can't really calculate it because it was only in an arcade cabinet, which was 300 pounds, which isn't a digital medium. So it'd be really hard for that company to try to claim damages if they never re-released it.
Now, we've been talking kind of Atari here, but there were things that were not Atari from my arcade there as well. As a matter of fact, you had sent us over some video, and I don't know which video it was in now that I'm thinking about it, but there was you know how the Game Station Go is. There's
Right.
like a My Arcade Game Station something. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a Namco themed game station with the Pac-Man and everything else.
Oh, you're talking about this unit here, the jukebox.
No, but you can talk about this, but we'll get to the other one, I guess, later. But what I'm talking about is like a handheld that looks exactly like this Game Station Go, the handheld one with the screen. But it was not. It was Namco branded. But what is this here? It looks like a jukebox. Explain this to me. What is this?
Yeah, so from my understanding, this is a prototype. I believe this is the one they mentioned as a prototype. I have a video on it, but it's pretty cool. It has a number of different games on here. It has a bat top joystick, but I believe this also plays music and maybe does a few other things. But I believe this is something that they are working on. I don't want to confuse it with this other unit that they. I have another unit here. I'll show you. So I know this one's a working prototype that they're working on. This is a almost like a poker machine. No really specs on this one, but it's something that they are working on to release. But I do believe this one too is also a prototype that they are working on that they plan to release.
Can we go back to that the poker thing, like the slot machine thing? Who the hell wants that?
You know what I thought of when I first saw that? I thought of when Atari was going to do the Bitcoin or whatever.
Well, yeah, they had a cryptocurrency.
Something. And this may or may not be Atari branded. I don't know. But my question is, the first thing that I thought of, is this like Wi-Fi enabled and that you link it to your bank account and you can gamble at home? You know what? How's this? What is this? How's it work? What's it for? You know, is it for fun? Is it really? Can you make money on it, or can you lose money on it? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, I believe it. The idea is for it to have its own in-game currency. There's obviously no money, no gambling whatsoever. I had asked him if it was a piggy bank because I have a poker machine. You know, the ones you can get in Vegas. That's a poker machine, but it's a bank. It holds like a few coins or whatever in there. Mm-hmm. So nothing of that sort. But again, this is a prototype. It may not even come out. It's just something that they are working on.
Because my thought, and it's the same with like the mini consoles. Like Nintendo came out with their NES Mini, and then there was like the Sega Mini and the PlayStation Mini, and eventually the market kind of realizes that, hey, I'm buying this, I'm playing it once, and it sits forever, so I'm going to stop buying these. And that's the way I feel about these little tabletop, like the miniature tabletop arcades. You know, the bigger ones that you can, especially ones that you can add games to. You know, that's got some value. I think that always have some value, like the MAME style cabinets. But stuff like this, like who has a counter full of these cheap little? I don't know. Like, hey, if you guys in the chat, if you're a big fan of these, you know, say so. But
well, there's a market for it, and I'll tell you why I say that. Because our friend Gen X Grown Up was out there, and actually him and Keo got a chance to meet and talk while he was out there. But I have watched his show a lot, and he reviews the little miniature My Arcades or whatever they are.
Things,
yeah, and there's obviously a market for it. But
does he say positive things about them though? They're garbage.
Yeah, but he does. He does. And but thing of it is, you know, different strokes for different folks, I guess. But my thing is, the older I get, the harder it is for me to see. Why would I want to play on something that is, you know what I mean? It's like, if I got to strain my eyes, I already have enough
it's like, you know, the grandmas at the casino and they're just sitting at the slot machines and doing that. Why would you want that on your kitchen counter? Is all I'm like. I don't get it. Me
Well, you
personally,
can do
I
it
don't
on
get
your
it. I don't
phone.
get any of the, because like the little mini My Arcade thing, like they're not fun to play. They're novelties. And I get it. Some people like to just have everything. I don't mean to rally on this thing. Like they're one of many who do this kind of thing,
Mhm.
and like you said, it's a prototype. It may never make it to market, but these things, it's kind of like I go to like a Walmart and I see just a wall of these little mini arcade things that nobody ever buys until they're on extreme discount, and even then I'm not buying. Then I'm just like, this is not the kind of retro take my money that I want.
Well, you'd be surprised. I mean, there is a good market for it. Working with a lot of images, gaming images, you know how many thousands of ROMs are pretty much useless if you're using it specifically for a controller, like your traditional Xbox type controller, right? Like those Mahang games, the ones with the little they look like dominoes, and then of course you also have poker ROMs too.
Yeah.
So that gives those particular games a housing or a sense for a system like this, because that's one of the biggest complaints. Like, why is Mahong on here? You have a bunch of poker games, nobody's sitting in front of their TV with an Xbox or PlayStation type controller playing on their TV or arcade unit for poker games. So this gives those kind of ROMs life for this.
I hear
Now,
you.
yeah, so like for me too, I like it because working in a number of different business offices. Let's say if you're a business executive, I'm just giving you guys an example, and you're on the phone all day waiting on hold, meeting between clients. Things like this are really good to just kind of sit around. You just want to tinker with it, play with it while you're waiting on hold, maybe signing some documents and things like that. So I wouldn't say like, hey, like this is the hardcore gamer type accessory. This is
No, none of these are targeted towards like real gamers. They're targeted towards your nostalgia and maybe like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be great to have an arcade room, but I can't afford one, so I'll have a desk with this on it.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like the fidget spinners. Like, remember you have those little fidget spinners, you just kind of tinker around with something while you're waiting around at your office desk or whatever the case might be. So
I
I
do think as a society, just as the human race, we really need to go back to embracing boredom. Like we don't always like we are always distracting ourselves. Maybe just sit
Yeah.
with your thoughts for a little bit.
Well, you
Right,
know
right.
what? I could see me if I were an executive and I had that slot machine, even if it was just for fun. Um, and I'm on hold and I decide, okay, I guess I'm gonna simulate a couple quarters or dollars or whatever,
Yeah.
and start pulling the lever, and then all of a sudden I'm starting to hit it pretty good. And then all of a sudden the person comes off hold and I'll be like, can you hold on a second? I'm in the middle of something.
Right.
I
You
hear you. Hey, I'm not gonna I on my channel anyway, I never tell anybody what to do with their money. You like this type of stuff, by all means, power to you.
Absolutely.
I just don't get how these companies make any money.
Well, that what they're doing, in my opinion, is they're squeezing that orange for as much juice as they'll come out.
Yeah.
That's just what they're doing, and it's okay. It's all right if people like this stuff. Like I said, I've watched a number of Gen X grown-ups reviews on some of these mini cades, and he likes them. And there are people that get in his comments and stuff, and they say positive things about him. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, for me, I'm not what I would call a collector. I have a collection, but I'm not a collector
Yeah.
in the sense that something comes out like Casey, I've got to get it.
Yeah.
If it's something that I really want, yeah. But every little thing that comes down the pike, I have to pick and choose. And this is honestly for me, it's just something that I probably would just, take a pass on.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Like I said, I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I'm just
no,
saying, like, I don't get it.
and they look cool. They look cool. I know if I had a shelf, or if I had a counter,
What kind of size? That makes a thing. What kind of size are these?
They are. I mean, it's
They
the
look to
same.
be like what, 1.5
we
feet
have a
tall?
video of it somewhere.
Yeah, you can go ahead and
Yeah,
play
he's
the
got it
video.
up right here.
Oh, that's the video. Okay, I thought that was picture. Okay.
Oh,
That's
he had video. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
I mean, they look to be a decent size. It's not like those little tiny ones that my kids got me
No,
for
those are
Christmas.
larger.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are larger than the real little ones.
Yeah, so
But that's a pretty large screen TV behind it. So I'd say it's
Well,
probably
yeah, I'm trying to look at the guy's hand when he brings it in. So
Okay.
it looks like it's about a foot tall.
yeah. So you guys are familiar with the little bar tops that Arcade came out with?
yeah.
Okay, they're the same size.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're the same size as those.
So
And
kinda
Mike, I appreciate that. I'm always honest here. Sometimes to a fault.
So those look actually similar to that arcade, that Atari arcade one up barcade. They're similar in size to that. It looks like maybe slightly smaller or about the same size.
Yeah, all those are roughly about the same size.
Yeah. So you see the Game Station Go box above
Yeah,
there.
you saw.
Not Pro, not Go. Pro.
Yeah. So this thing's a decent size.
Yeah, it's not tiny, but yeah.
It's not a toy. I still say that, like, if I would have to, like, actually sit and try to play it for a while, but it's not something that I would play. Like, I imagine that would get uncomfortable after about 20 minutes of playing.
I mean, if I didn't have my gear, my gaming stuff, and I went over to a friend's house and they had that, I would jump on it. You know, I would play a little bit of it. I wouldn't be against that. It's just
I'd
for
jump
me.
on it. I just wouldn't spend. Do you have any idea what the potential price of any of these was going to be?
Yeah, so the black one that's over there to the far right, I think they're roughly all about $299.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay $300 for it.
Yeah, they're all about $299 was the given price.
But but if I went to a friend's house and he had one, I'd play it. I'd play it.
Yeah.
But
and they look cool. They do. They look cool. You know what? I don't know what it is. Are we, as retro gamers, have we been
milked enough?
Marketed so much that we're just starting to get tired of it? I'll give you an example. I mean, I don't know how many times, like, I would go to a Cracker Barrel, and you know how you go into Cracker Barrel, they got that shop that you go in right before you go in to eat. They have that, you know, the world's smallest Atari. You know, it's about this big. And I
remember that thing, and it actually, like, you could actually,
and it played. Yeah, it played. It had Space Invaders or something on it. I don't remember what it was.
I think Asteroids. I think it was still
it was one of those. And I'm like, and I looked at it, it was like $40 or something. I'm like, are you kidding?
See, now I'm at the stage where I look at that and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I would never buy it.
No. Well,
I am kind of sick of being overly marketed. Like, by all means, take it. Take my money when it comes to my nostalgia and all that, but don't take it for granted. Take advantage of it, but don't take it for granted.
Okay,
and
so
I have a feeling like some of these products are taking it for granted. Not this. Like, I'm not saying anything specifically that we're seeing right here. Yeah.
So you guys are familiar with the Xbox refrigerator? Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, it's about that size.
Okay.
I was trying to really think about a really good size compare. It's about that size of that Xbox refrigerator. So,
well, you know, getting back to what Kia was saying earlier about having this stuff out in the marketplace to keep the IPs relevant, there may be something to that. And like I said,
you could just on, like, Steam have a package of the games, like a compilation of the games, or Atari 50. Atari 50 is still out in the market. So
yeah,
I'm not buying the, they're doing this to keep their copyright. I think it's more just like My Arcade and other different companies being like, okay, we got to hit this retro while people are still interested in it. And that's valid. That's fine. I don't see the market for a lot of this.
You see those little handhelds in that case right there? My wife loves those. She does. Like I bought one, and I'm like, because it had the NES version of Pac-Man on it. It wasn't even the real Pac-Man. It had the NES version, but she didn't know.
Could have been worse. Could have been the 2600 Pac-Man. You would have thrown up.
Anyway, but she loves those things. So I think there are people out there who it may be for it. Absolutely. And so, the Consumer Electronics Show is a place where these type of things can be showcased.
Yep.
And like Keo was saying, a lot of that stuff are, the works in progress. What they do is they put this stuff out there, and they see what kind of response they get at these shows on the things that could be coming up. And that's where, they get ideas, because some of this stuff they may go, you know what, we were getting some negative negs on this slot machine.
Yeah,
I don't know if we're going to do
that's
that.
a valid point too.
Yeah, and that's another thing too about CES. Remember, CES is not a gaming convention of what is coming out. Remember, CES is to meet with distributors, buyers, to say, hey, this is what we have. Are you interested in them? Do you want to buy 20,000 of these? And then from there, that really determines what is going to come out. Remember, a lot of this stuff you may not even see. A lot of it is talked about, and a lot of it has to do with business meetings and handshakes. So you bring what you have, what you're, a prototype that may come out, and you have business meetings and say, okay, well, you want to buy 10,000? Yeah, I have a market for that. So that's really up to the supplier, kind of at that point.
Yeah. And when it comes,
I'll
just mention with this comment. He says, Mike R says, I sort of understand the smaller, cheaper handheld ones as novelty gifts. I do have like one of the really small Pac-Man arcades, and I think maybe a Tetris that my kids got me for Christmas at some time. Like, they sit on a shelf, and like I do understand that.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say that the little poker machine, those are popular in Vegas. Those little tiny ones that you guys see there. Those are hugely popular in those novelty gift shops.
Well, I've been to Vegas a number of times, man. There's slot machines in every 7-Eleven too. So, it's just something that is big out there.
And that didn't even occur to me, like a gift shop somewhere where you're going to be doing, at a casino or something. Oh, like, because you're looking for a trinket to bring home, and you pick up one of those little.
Yeah, they're popular.
Slot machine things. Yeah.
Anything with the slot machine. I always wanted one when I was a kid, and I got one when I got older, and it's a bank. Those things are cool to play around with.
Fair.
So,
all right. What else do we have to move on to?
I want to show.
I do want to say it is exciting, Keo, having you on, because it makes us feel like news anchors, and you're our correspondent. Who's on the scene. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Because it was his idea. He's like, Phil, I'm going to the show, man. I might be finding some stuff. I'm like, come on, share it with us, man. But I got something I want to share.
Okay.
I got something I want to share. Ooh. That is Keo. And I've said this a number of times. KioDieken, just there's something about that name, but can you imagine going by that name and then walking around with that? It just, it's like, dude, I'm scared myself. And what is that? What is that thing?
My mask?
The mask. Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, that's my hobby mask. I've been selling those for a couple of years. They're customized. I have a number of different versions of them. See if I can pull up some other ones. And so what it is, it's a visor. And so what I started doing, that's a Red Apple firework logo that's on that one, and started customizing different logos on them. So that way you can still see through them. They're shades, basically. You can still see perfectly through them. Really works really well if you're working outside, spraying pesticides, cutting the grass, installing security cameras, and the sun is, beating right down in your face if you're driving. And I wanted something stylish. I wanted something that was really cool, that was a little bit more than just your typical sunglasses, but something unique. So I made some of these for a football team. They wanted some of those, but
Wow.
I created these, came up with the concept. You won't find them
Very
anywhere else.
futuristic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. When I saw that, I asked Keo, I said, "What is that thing?" He told me. I already knew when I asked the question, but I want him to explain to you guys because I wanted to show it to you because I thought it was really cool. So,
Oh, thank you. Yeah, just my hobby mask, and I can show you like different versions and stuff like that. But yeah, they're pretty cool. At least
yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
So what else caught your eye at CES?
Oh man, let me.
We're
get
saving,
back to
by
that.
the way, chat. We're saving the Atari Hotel for last, and I did put a poll in my chat if you want to vote in that.
All right, so this really caught my eye. One of the biggest and talked about things in the gaming space. How do you play Dance Dance Revolution? And so this company, I
With
think
a
it's called
PlayStation 2 and the pad.
right. So it's called Gamer. They created this Bluetooth control pad which allows you to play games like that.
Oh, okay.
So
you
that was
could play
different.
like on your computer or whatever.
Yeah, you can put it on your computer, hook it up to a Raspberry Pi, Android, probably iOS. I know it works on PlayStation. I believe it
Can you
works on.
plug it in though? I there's maybe it's just me, especially with something with the precision needed of Dance Dance Revolution. I'm not sure I'd trust Bluetooth.
It's very responsive. I mean, I played
Yeah.
on it. It's really quick. I mean, I used to be really skeptical about wireless controllers, and now the majority of all controllers
Yeah,
are,
that's true.
Wireless. So it's very responsive. So
I tried that once, and when I got on it, it said one at a time, please. So sorry, that's my dad joke for the show. All right.
yeah, I mean, this guy's really going at it. I mean, you can see he's not missing a beat. So
I used to actually really like I never played in the arcade, but I had it on the PlayStation 2, and I actually really, really liked DDR.
And by the way, I am recording with the Meta glasses. So if you guys like those Meta glasses, that's the format, that's the quality of it. Really excellent sound quality. So
looks good.
Yeah, they saved me quite a few times, especially when I was meeting with Mad Cats and I was, had controllers and stuff in my hand, and you can't hold a phone and sample product at the same time. So they're really handy.
Mad Cats. Oh my god, I remember how bad Mad Cats stuff was. Is their stuff okay now? Like, why don't you tell us a little bit? What did Mad Cats have?
They had some new controllers. I think they had a fight stick or two. I'll have some more videos on it. Let's see if I can pull up some stuff on Mad Cats.
What was the quality like on them? Like, because I don't want to dunk on Mad Cats. Mad Cats has been known for like the cheap stuff, but I do have a couple Mad Cats controllers that are actually really good. So they've been really hit and miss.
Yeah, I've had Mad Cat stuff here. I'll show you guys a picture of one. This is a Nintendo Switch controller. Worked phenomenally well. Had a chance to really test it, play around with it. It was very responsive. I didn't get into a full gaming scenario like trying to play Marvel versus Capcom 2 or something.
Just so the chat knows, Keo's feed here is flipped, so that's why it looks like the D-pad is on the right of the controller.
I was wondering. I thought that doesn't look correct.
No, I noticed a little while back it is flipped. So just it's the correct layout.
Yeah, it's just a mirror.
Is that it?
There you go. There you go.
Okay. I wasn't sure. It was looking a little different on my screen. That's why. Gotcha. But yeah, it looks. I mean, it handles pretty well. They had that. They also had some mouse and keyboard stuff. Let's see here. They also had the leverless controllers too. Had a chance to play around with this. The little hit boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those are great for fighting games.
Yeah, really good quality. I didn't get a chance to really test that specifically with any, thing that was a fighting game, but I mean, it felt, pretty good, durable. I would probably say it's on par with some of the other fight sticks that are currently on the market. I was at Evo in 2024. So
that particular one, it's got the LED lighted buttons, and they change in synchronicity with each other. It's like that. It just looks cool. I think I like it. What's that?
And then they also have the traditional, remember, computer mouse or computer keyboard that was gaming. Yeah. So that's what that is. It's been a while since I've seen one of those, but completely adjustable. You got your hand rest there, and this is made for the left hand. So you have your WSD, what is it? WASD keys right here. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
nice.
So those are just some of the newer products that they are working on that I had a chance to kind of sample and everything. So
Wow. That, you know what? I think just being in the environment and being around people and hearing the sounds and of all the electronics and everything, it had to be a kind of an exciting environment to be in to begin with. And so you being there was huge, man. I mean, I've never been to one of those things, but I was reading up on it, and I know that with the implementation of AI right now, AI is really huge, and so I thought, you know, there's going to be a lot of that, but how much of it's going to be retro gaming stuff? And
yeah,
so,
yeah, a lot of it was mostly robots and AI. New stuff. There wasn't really anything new that was breathtaking that really
Yeah.
caught my attention. There's a few new computer monitors coming out, new graphics cards, but it's like, it's a graphics card. Obviously, you just add an LCD screen to it and maybe make a few more improvements, but there wasn't really anything that really caught my attention. But again, there's a lot of walking at CES. I can't stress that enough. When they have this is in a hotel room in the Venetian. So you had just messaged me and reminded me about the Atari Hotel in the middle of that meeting. I was like, oh shoot. And it was like at 4:40. And CES ends on this was on a Thursday at around 6. So I had to hurry up, get downstairs, find where they are, a massive showroom floor to hurry up and get over there because most of the companies start leaving on Friday. So even though you're there on Friday, most of the companies have left Thursday afternoon. And so, but again, a lot of these
It's
places,
like the Sunday afternoon of a game convention. Most of the guys are packing up.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, let's say WonderCon, starts on Friday, Saturday, and everybody's trying to pack up and get out of there by Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. So, speaking of, is there anything other than the Atari Hotel that you have left that you'd like to share with us, or do we want to move on to the hotel?
Oh, yeah, you guys can move on to the hotel. That was really it. I mean, robots, AI. That was really the most of CES was robots and AI. I mean,
they're working on the whole Skynet thing. That's great for humanity.
Yeah.
If it's on TV, it will happen eventually.
That's why I always say thank you to Google when it shuts off the lights. I want it to remember I was one of the nice ones.
You were polite to it.
So I'm going to put us back into this here. And Kio,
Yes.
why don't you? I promise not to interrupt until it is my turn to start discussing about it. Why don't you tell us everything that you talked to them about and saw about the Atari Hotel?
Right. So I was actually pretty amazed. I was at CES and I saw something about Atari Hotel because there's a CES 2026 app you can download. It shows you all the exhibitors, people who are attending, and you can schedule meetings. So I was like, what is this? Atari Hotel. Didn't really see too much coverage of it, on social media. So I messaged Phil. I was like, Retro Bliss. I was like, hey, man, let me check this out. You guys interested in it? Have you heard anything about it? And so I went downstairs, and from what I can tell you is that my understanding is a real thing. Apparently, it's opening up in downtown Phoenix. And at that location, it's, again, the gentleman that I spoke to, he's familiar with it, but he's not an official representative of the Atari Hotel. And from what I gather is not as big as a Las Vegas hotel, but is much bigger than a typical Motel 6 in a Holiday Inn. It's going to be made for gaming, people staying there, booking reservations, obviously, so forth. Sounds kind of like a timeshare, but again, I'm waiting to hear back to get more concrete information. I don't know how many rooms, exactly how large it's going to be, but I do know that it is that they are working on construction, and it's going to be in downtown Phoenix, and it's gaming centered with an esports arena and a bunch of other stuff.
So did you see any concept drawings, floor plans, anything like that?
Nope. The only thing I saw was the business card. Here, I mean, I posted this video on my social media. The only thing I saw was the business card and that they had a booth there. And I talked to one of the guys that told me that the representatives had just left, and that's really all I know.
Well, Mike's probably going to I'm going to say something, and then I'll let Mike jump
Yep.
in, because
Bill, go ahead.
once he does, he's like a lawnmower. He won't
You're
shut
not
off.
going to be able to get in. Yep.
But it's like the cryptocurrency thing. It's like we heard about that, and then they did it, and then it was a flop. And we've heard about the hotel for years now, and I've seen a few different concept drawings of one, which really don't. The drawings did not give you like a real sense of the size, scope. My question is, like, is the lobby, are there going to be Atari logos everywhere? Are you going to be able to game in your room?
Right.
Just all these questions that I have about, well, what's going to entice me to go to the Atari hotel versus a Holiday Inn Express, right? So, I don't know, Mike. What do you think?
I think this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, and I pre-ordered an Amico. I like. Okay, listen, I get it. Let's jump on the retro thing. Let's have an Atari themed hotel. There are thousands of themed hotels across America. But you look at them and they are all, unless it's a Disney resort or a Nickelodeon resort or something like that, something with a big thing behind it that people bring their kids, they're basically bed and breakfast. They're small little theme things where you can go. They have like maybe 5 or 10 rooms, and it's a little novelty thing. The only way I could see this potentially working is if it was like a partnership with I was actually talking to PJ Smith in the green room on Casey's show about this, and he actually brought this up. Like, if you partner with the Days Inn and you're like, okay, we'll take one of your hotels, we'll renovate it, and we make it Atari themed, and that's an agreement that we have with you guys for 10 years or something, and we run it like that. Because you build a new hotel, you're going bankrupt within a couple of years.
I was going to say, that would be more economical.
The other way you potentially do this and maybe have a chance at success, if you're already at a big destination. If you build this in Vegas or New York City or near or like Orlando or Anaheim, like near a Disney kind of thing, somewhere that people are going anyway. If, like, I'm not booking a vacation to Phoenix to go stay because the Atari hotel is there. Unless I'm already going to Phoenix, there's no way this is drawing me. The other thing that makes me actually really upset, and you go to AtariHotels.com, and it's all about crowdfunding for a frickin' hotel. And they say right here, this isn't a concept, it's construction ready. If it's construction ready, where are the plans? What's a property? To me, this screams scam. And I know, again, I won't tell anybody what to do with their money, but I will say, when it comes to investing, a fool and his money are easily parted. Just because you love Atari. And like the drawings don't line up. This looks like it's AI generated. I've seen other concept art that doesn't match this. So no, it isn't construction ready. That's like Tommy Tallarico saying we're on the launch pad. I actually, if they build this, if this actually gets built, I will come on to this podcast and I'll do a whole podcast eating crow. I have no problem with doing that. But this screams scam to me. Please don't invest in this. I would love a nostalgic thing. If if some billionaire wanted to build this, and they did, and it was somewhere that I could go, I would absolutely love to go visit this. It's got like kind of a, give it like that, because Atari would, there's the big Atari logos and Blade Runner. Give the Blade Runner Tron kind of feel,
Right.
and I go stay for a weekend, and it'd be awesome. But I don't see how you make any money with this unless you are a very wealthy person and you don't care about losing money. I don't see this ever actually being built. And like just these little buttons, like become an owner. We've been burned too many times in this community to fall for this crap. I hope.
Well, think about it. You made a good point, Mike, about if you're going to build one, at least build one where there's something to do. If I were with being, I'm a Gen Xer, and a lot of the Atari people that have nostalgia for Atari are Gen Xers or maybe a little younger than that. But their kids are probably grown. If I were to go to Phoenix and said, "Hey, honey, let's stay at the Atari Hotel."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, she doesn't care about Atari. She doesn't have nostalgia for Atari. If I take her to Phoenix to go,
now don't get me wrong, Atari, a lot of senior citizens may have good memories of Atari, and Phoenix is a great place if you're a senior citizen, I guess.
Yeah, for snowbirds though.
Yeah.
But not for vacationers. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I obviously people vacation in the South anyway, but like you said, in Phoenix, unless you like basketball, the Suns or the Cardinals, I don't know what you do out there, because there's no water. And they have to ship their water,
which really sucks because it's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat.
Yeah, I think a lot of the hotel itself would come down to how they have it mapped out. Like they use the Atari theme. For example, some of the same conversations took place with Luxor, MGM Grand, Excalibur, especially Luxor, because it's a pyramid themed, hotel. But now they also
it's in Vegas.
Right, of course. It's on the Strip right there. Like the biggest hotels in the world are like, some of the biggest hotels are right there across the street from one another. New York,
I can't believe you put that up, Mike.
I had to. It's the name of a game. It's okay.
Oh.
No, it's not. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, it could definitely work, because I saw a news article. I was watching a video. It said that they were also thinking about doing esports, maybe not Atari themed, but partnering with some form of esports.
I could see a gaming convention center kind of thing, but even then, you're really limiting yourself, I think.
Atari Hotel should be a nursing home for people who grew up with Atari. Put it in.
Listen, like I said, if they build it, I will eat crow on this. I have no problem with that. But it just, when you go to Atari Hotel, they have no plans. They have a couple concept drawings, and all it looks like is they're trying to raise money. That scream, like, I would never invest in a hotel anyway.
You know what I guess we could do is contact Phoenix, the public commissioner's office, City Hall, to see if there's any plans, to see exactly how far away they are, in terms of permits and whatnot. And then
because if they have permits, then they have to have submitted something. And that would, I'm gonna tell you right now, knowing what little bit I do know about, if you don't have drawings, you cannot get a permit. So
no, of course not.
You can't. So I don't, if they don't have a permit, if you do what Keo said and you call out there and they go, well, Atari, what are you talking about?
See, right. Jolt 7800, I would invest in that. Statue of Todd Fry and a giant. Yeah.
I would defecate on the statue, because I can't stand that guy. No, I don't hate Todd Fry. He just owes me $142.62.
He owes you nothing, Phil.
Oh, come on now.
Nothing.
You were not there. You were not there.
I was there.
No, you were not.
You used my lawnmower money because I was younger than you.
You probably
I was
didn't even know
there
what a
when
lawnmower
Pac-Man was
was.
released. I was alive.
All right, we're getting off track.
We are.
But all this stuff we've talked about, everything, the My Arcade stuff, the Atari Game Station Go. We didn't really touch a whole lot on the My Arcade. I think it's called
Retro
Retro
one last thing
Go.
about Hotel then before we move on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I know that, especially when people are trying to launch projects, they'll watch anything on YouTube where people talk about them. Here at the Retro Bliss Rewind podcast, we have an open invitation from anybody who represents the Atari Hotel. If they want to come on, we will be journalists for the day. We're not journalists. We just talk about video games, but we will be journalists for the day. And you could come on and try to show us that you're legit. I give you that invitation. I would gladly accept that invitation. I know Phil would, and we'll talk to you. But you got some convincing to do.
But what journalists do, if we're going to be journalists, we're going to be honest.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's why I said we'll be journalists for the day.
We want to know what your plan is moving forward with this thing. So, I mean, honestly, it's the same thing with the gaming stuff, that I may pass on. If there's a market for it and you want to move forward, it's cool. It's all right. I'm not going to participate in it, but there are others that might. But if you're asking for money based on an AI generated picture, I don't.
Apparently, the Atari Hotel YouTube page even took down their own video. I don't know what was in that video, but
was it the one the news article did a video on too? The concept,
maybe. Buzz says, honest journalists, maybe when we were all kids. Yeah, you know what? But we will play them. We will, when required, we will play them. Oh, apparently
this is not a political show, so we can be honest. Yes. We don't have a political leaning one way or another when it comes to retro gaming. That's not what we do here. So if we ask an honest question, it's not going to be, are you raising my taxes? It's, what are you doing?
Read my lips. No new taxes.
Yeah, I was there.
Well, keep in mind, you know what? I mean, again, I'm still waiting to hear back from them because I have their business card.
I would, and if you get an interview and you do it on your channel, I will point people to it. I would love to
better yet
from these actual people.
If you want to invite them on the podcast and you want to come on with us and we can all do this together.
If they see this, they might not want to come on the podcast.
I kind of don't think that's going to happen. It's not going because we all didn't try. I don't know. Like, I mean, we may be off base, Mike. We may be, but we've been burned so many times. It's just so hard to be trusting. When I actually pre-ordered the mini Vectrix, and I was very hesitant to do that, but I felt right about that.
My thing with that one is, like, I actually played it. If they were trying to raise money and they had plans and a spot in downtown Phoenix that they had a lease on, or something like that, I would have a lot more credence. And maybe they do. They're just not telling anybody. But if you're trying to get people to invest, you got to tell people.
Right.
You got to show people. So sorry, Phil. So that end scene, we're done about talking about the Atari Hotel. Thank you, everybody, for hearing me rant. And Mike R says they do have land, but that doesn't mean anything. They have land, but no money. I would still want to see plans. I would want to, like, if I'm going to invest in something, I want to see everything. Okay, so end scene, and Phil, you had something else you wanted to ask about. I think about my arcade, which Andy Author is really not a fan.
No, I think we might have heard that once or twice in the chat, but one thing that I did not, I don't know where it was at, but I know that Kio took a video of was the Game Station Retro Go, which was the one that we talked about earlier that was Pac-Man themed. That kind of looked cool, but again, it had the small trackball. It had a spinner. That I'd probably be more inclined to buy that than I would a Game Station Go personally. As much as I love Atari, and BCB will kill me if I hear me say that, but I just probably would go with a Pac-Man themed one instead, because I play Atari in so many different ways right now. I do play Pac-Man in a number of ways too, but it would depend on what was on it. But we didn't really show it, but that was a piece of retro gaming hardware that I think will be coming out.
Which one are you referring to? I'm trying to
It
remember.
was kind of blue, and it was a handheld with a big screen.
If you have the picture, just bring it up.
Well, that's what I'm trying to. I have so many pictures and videos. I'm trying to figure out which one was it.
Let me see if I can bring up the video of it.
Was it really tiny?
No, it was not really tiny.
That's what I'm trying to remember, because when you're at CES, just to let you guys know, I collect a lot of business cards and packages. And my previous experiences, I would tell a company like, yeah, I'll contact you, call you, whatever. But when I got back, because I had so many different pamphlets, so many different business cards, so much information on product, it was very difficult, nearly impossible to remember who I spoke with and which business card aligned with a product. So when I go, I'm taking a lot of photos, taking a lot of pictures, videos. Obviously, things like this are really easy to remember because they're more or less centralized for gaming. But when you're there, it's very hard. If I was just going based on memory, I'm not going to remember. I'm just not. So that's why I have to have pictures and videos to remember. Okay, where was I? What day? What time? Because there's just so many different products out there.
Yeah, you almost need to take notes as you go through. 3 p.m. on Thursday, I went here.
Exactly. And that's why when I have my phone and I upload my photos, I can kind of go in a chronological order as far as where I was.
Why don't you?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I had just clicked it. Okay, here you go. That's
it doesn't look like it has a trackball. I'm wondering if that's like a I don't know what that is down on the bottom left there. That's where the trackball is on the Game Station Go. Mm-hmm. So what that little that sliver is down there in the bottom left, I don't know. It's something that has to do with the controls, but I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's just a left and right kind of thing, which doesn't make sense if you have a D-pad above it. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm looking at it looks to me like it's got Street Fighter on it, but it's got some other things like Rally X and 1943 and a Strider and Dig Dug, Galaga, some of the
some of those are typical ones that you see, but there's a couple there that are new.
Yeah. So I mean that I imagine that this is definitely going to be released. I would say, based on the success that limited success, I don't know how big of a success, but they've had some success with the Game Station Go.
Yeah, I think that unit might be coming out in March. I do have a video on it. I do have a full review or video recap with the guys that work for my arcade. So if you watch that video, it'll have all the details about all these products. I just can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. I wanted to, we didn't actually show it or talk about it very much, and I just wanted to do that before we got off because I think we've kind of touched on everything that there is to touch on, at least for tonight.
Do you want me to end my poll and give you the results?
Absolutely, please do. While I schedule up the end queue and remember to hit end stream tonight.
And remember to hit end stream. I posted, what do you think of the Atari Hotel? Take my money, no thanks, or it's a dumb idea. We had 27 votes. Take my money was 7%. No thanks was 19%. And it's a dumb idea was 74%. I don't know if my rant influenced that poll. I apologize if I influenced the integrity of the poll. But
well, think about it. If it did not, if your rant did not affect the poll, if Atari is trying to drum up some money to get this thing going. If 71% of the people,
I don't think now. Oh, actually, here's a question. I don't think it's Atari proper. It's Atari licensed, right?
Yeah, it would be it's
Yeah.
a license, just like My Arcade
Yeah.
and some of the other ones. They're just licensed.
Okay.
Oh, Mike R was following it. He says most of those votes were before my rant. Okay.
Okay, which makes sense because I think the numbers are probably very close.
Yeah.
Plus or minus 6%. So, well, guys, listen, I appreciate you guys being on. Kio, you were our boots on the ground. That was really nice of you to offer to share what you learned out there, and hopefully we were able to share some of what you shared with us to the audience, and maybe there's something that they saw that they want to get, and that's like I said, it's all good. It's all good. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just there's so many things that come down the pike. Sometimes people just have to pick and choose, but you know what? I got friends on Facebook Marketplace. If it comes out, they're buying it. It doesn't matter. So that's just the way it is. So anyway, we're going to sign off, but you guys, we will see you next time on Retro Bliss Rewind, which will be on a Tuesday.
Yes.
And, this is a special edition of it.
And you know what, Phil? Can we prompt? We have had people asking for weeks for us to do our top 5 Atari 8-bit games. We should make that our next episode.
Yeah, I think we were going to ask somebody to be on
Gen X Grown Up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I will get a hold of him and see if he wants to come on, if he's available, and then we'll do that because I know that he really enjoys the Atari 8-bit. So all right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Retro Bliss Rewind.